Are you on dating apps, and does this sound like you? Not getting the quality and quantity of matches you want. Wasting money on dating apps with no results. Struggling to start a conversation with a match? Straight up getting ignored. Feeling like online dating just isn't for you. Are girls making you jump through hoops just to get a date? Do you struggle to understand what women want in a man, how they want to be flirted with, and how to keep them around? For the love of God, you just want to be laid. Well, lucky for us, we have Alex from Playing with Fire, voted #1 for best text game, giving us his 3 best Tinder openers for 2025. Most of you are not going to know what Playing with Fire is, but it markets itself as a dating course for straight men who want relationships with women. What it actually is a course on how to get laid. Get laid on a regular basis without leaving your home. For the last 5 years, we've taught literally hundreds of men how to use Tinder and other online dating apps to get laid by hot girls. Somewhere in all of these videos, I slip in how I think vocabulary is important, how word choice is important. It seems to be very common among these men to call men men and women girls. And that's all I'm going to say. Now, the course itself is $295, and I don't really have $300 to blow on a video, but if I did, I could look forward to a quick start guide I can use to get laid within the next week, which dating apps are the best and why, how to increase your sexual market value. I only hear these things when it's like these alpha male men coach type people, where they're like sexual marketplace. Like, who comes up with this? I guess they do. How to pick the right pictures for your profile that will get you matches, examples of highly successful profiles for every dating app, how to text and talk to girls that they will be attracted to you, how to set up dates where she comes straight to your house ready for sex, that's not a date, how to deal with objections. I don't like that it says objections over rejections. If it was how to deal with rejection, it feels like it's maybe healthy coping mechanisms. But it says how to deal with objections. No, I don't want to do that. You start crying. Please, 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 please. I know exactly what these men say next, and I'm not comfortable saying it. I know exactly what men threaten to do to themselves when they are not getting what they want from women, and I do not have it in me to say those words out loud. That went there very fast. I actually just straight hated that. What to do during the meetup, how to keep them interested in coming back for more, how to move things beyond casual sex if that's what you want, everything you need to get and keep a hot girlfriend, and much, much more. All for the low, low price of $295. I'm lucky enough to be in a healthy relationship that I look forward to every day. I've not had a single day where I didn't want to wake up to her or go to bed next to her. I'm lucky enough to be in that position. I have not been a dating app user since my first, maybe second year of college. And in talking to women, I think I do a good job of making people feel like people and making them laugh. But I don't think I'm the person that's going to meet someone and hook up with them on the first day in my old age. Maybe I'm wrong, but my hips don't move like they used to, and I don't think they lie either. All that is to say, there is nothing wrong with being on dating apps. There is nothing wrong with wanting a relationship. There's nothing wrong with even just wanting casual hookups. You should, however, be honest about it and probably not take advice on what women want from men. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the little things women want. I don't know, and I don't know the person you want specifically. What I do know is you should treat people with respect, call women women and not girls, and maybe don't listen to people who just want to sell you a $300 course. They're all the same person. This guy, Dr. Terabin, Alpha Dom 1C, they're trying to sell you a course when if you really just want help with women, you should ask women. I wish Lee didn't have a job so I could sit her next to me and just like let her talk sometimes, because I'm sitting here so comfortably in love with a woman. What if she doesn't feel that way? What if I'm just like, yo, love of my life, and she like takes the mic and she goes, you loser, dude, you're probably gonna go bald, dude. How do I come back from that? Anyway, me and you, 3 best new Tinder openers for 2025. Bonus, I'm going to try one on Memat. I'm going to try one on Memat because he is currently doing a subathon and he has over 300 hours left to stream on Twitch. So we're going to take whichever one of these I like the best, and we're going to try it on a bald man who wears glasses. See better.
After a month of testing, the results are in. In this video, we're going to reveal the 3 best Tinder openers of 2025 that are designed to get the girl to respond. For this experiment,
this is a completely different thought. How do you guys do 3? Like this or like this? Because I used to be this kind of person, but now I do this. Also, when I was in high school, I got these 3 fingers caught under the football sled at practice, and now they look weird. Like these are normal and these are not. Can you tell the difference? It took me a year from October to October to be able to close my hand all the way.
We took a dozen of the best openers that the guys in our mastermind group are using, and I personally extensively tested every single one of them. And this video, I'm gonna share with you the 3 of the best performing ones. But make sure you guys watch this video until the end because these are gonna be going in reverse order. So let's start off with number 3. And keep in mind, this one did really well, but there's gonna be one at the end that I think is a massive game changer. So it goes like this. Hey, insert girl's name. I'm curious about something.
Brother, that's not new. Hey, can I ask you something? It is a very like normal way to get someone to respond, right? Like instead of just asking them, because if you ask somebody something, they can just ignore it. But if you go, hey, can I ask you something? They have to go, sure, yes. Like that's what she said. Yes, question mark.
So what you're doing here is you're invoking the girl's curiosity because then she's like, what is he curious about? What does he want to know, right? So it's really good at getting response, but it's important to have a good follow-up. So I'm going to show you guys how to follow up with this also. So here's an example. I say, hey, Catherine, I'm curious about something. She says, yes, question mark. I say, how can you look so innocent and like such trouble at the same time? So this is a really good follow-up you can use to this opener.
Do I do this to Lee while she's at work? Do I just straight up text her, hey, can I ask you a question while she's at work? She's going to say yes. I'm going to ask her, how can you look so innocent and like such trouble at the same time? And she's going to straight up ignore me.
She says, someone's observant. I'd say the same thing to you, but you don't look innocent. Yeah, I can because I have a fuckboy profile. So I say, you're quite observant as well. Although somehow my husky wound up becoming the most innocent creature ever. True statement about Rhaegar.
I like how fast he got his dog in there. I haven't been on dating apps since before Toast was born. So I have no idea if I would do the same thing. I have no idea how fast I would drop. Yeah, you know, me and my dog. We've moved around a lot. She talks to me sometimes. She goes, roo, 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 and I go, I don't think you're allowed to say that slur.
Says, mine too. She doesn't even bark or howl unless she's playing or telling me she has to go out. She's the sweetest. I say, and this is just an easy setup, right? When a girl says that, she has a dog, I have a dog. What am I going to say? Oh, we should go on a double date. So here she says, maybe we should.
Dude, he left her on red. That's so funny, actually.
And this is the advantage of like just having a life and not insta responding to girls, because you notice that about 5 hours later, she just double texts, right? So again, that's why you don't want to be on your phone all the time insta responding.
She was definitely asleep. Tuesday, she messages. Tuesday night, she messages. Tuesday night, because it's Wednesday at midnight, he messages. She fell asleep, woke up at 7, texted. Double texted at 11:30. Here's my thing, and I'm reading way too much into this. If I have to text you at 7 and then again at noon, and your last message to me was at 1 in the morning, I assume that you have a bad sleep schedule.
She says, sorry, but I was just thinking about how cute your dog is. I say, cool, shoot me your number. Let's make it happen. Now, I could have flirted
Oh my God. And then you waited until 3 in the morning?
a little bit more here. I could have been like, oh yeah, what about the owner or something like that, but it does the trick.
Like, she is consistently up at 6.
And she gives me the phone number and she's down to meet up. So that was one. Let's take a look at another example for this opener. So same thing. I say, hey, girl's name, I'm curious about something. She says, good morning. About what? I say, how can you look so innocent and like such trouble at the same time? Well, that's a good one. No one has ever told me that. Well, wait until this video comes out.
Ooh. And now he's gonna double text.
I say, glad I could be the first. I like your choker, by the way. So in terms of compliments, there's a misconception that you never want to compliment the girl. It's incorrect. It's okay to compliment girls. You want the...
That is so funny. Are you always this talkative? Hey, pay attention to me. I have too much shame. I really do. If I'm on a dating app and I message someone and then they don't message me back, I immediately fall into like, all right, they hate me. It was me. It's my fault. They Googled me. They saw a video of me talking about Christians talking about masturbation for 2 hours. It's my fault. It's my fault. Oh no. Oh, my mom was right about me. But she said in Spanish, so I don't know if that counts. This isn't going to work for people, I think, because you don't do anything. She's the one that goes, hey, we can meet up. Which makes me feel like either, I don't want to say they're fake. I'm going to just say they're not fake, even though I really do think they are. I'm going to leave it there. It feels like this is 2 out of 10,000 times. Or his bio says something about meeting up. And so they already have that. They already have that in their minds. Imagine they're all bots and he's just talking to Tinder bots. That'd be so funny.
Compliments to be though on something that's not obvious. Like, don't compliment her on her tits, don't compliment her on her ass, probably don't compliment her on her eyes or whatever. Compliment on something that's maybe not so obvious, like something that she's wearing, or for example, a style or something along the lines of that, right? So yeah, that's
Yeah, if you're getting on Tinder and your first message is, "Hey girl, I like them cheeks. What they do, baby." And you're wondering why you're not doing great, you probably have the awareness of Mario constantly running into Bowser and Peach together. Oh, he kidnapped my princess again. Brother, that man has a castle.
that's kind of what I do here, even though that one's like semi-obvious, but not really. And she doesn't respond. So I wait a few days. That's how long you should wait before you double text. And then
It doesn't really apply to me because I'm not like looking to date new people. So like if Lee specifically, dude, I'll triple text that woman. I don't know that I've ever waited full days to double text someone. I've definitely waited hours, but I was a teenager. I can't imagine thinking that way as an adult. As an adult, like I know that when I miss messages now from whomever, it's because one, my phone was in do not disturb. And so when I take it off do not disturb, I forget to go through my notifications, or I was just busy. I looked at the message, said, okay, I'll respond in a second, and then I straight up did just forget. So when people double or triple text me, that's fine. I probably needed the reminder.
hit her with a standard takeaway. Are you always this talkative? And she says, I'm sorry, I gave up on this app. Text me and we can meet up. And she gives me the phone number. So easy peasy.
I do think "Are you always this talkative" is funny, but it seems a little desperate. I know I wouldn't be able to.
And yes, it can really, really be that easy. Like, if you look at my average Tinder conversation, it's probably like 2 or 3 screenshots worth, maybe 4, right? And then I'm setting up a date and getting a number. All right, let's go to opener number 2 in terms of successfulness. So I sent this opener to 10 girls, and out of those, I wound up getting a date with 3. So the opener is, I see we both have good taste. Short and sweet. So she replies with, I see that we do too. Your tourist dog sold me though. Because one
Sorry, I like read ahead. Dogs are cool, you know, I get it. I would swipe too if somebody had a cool dog. I also do think I like your tourist dog. He's secretly a local but likes to pretend. That actually is really funny. Good for him. You being surrounded by little black balls is what sold me is definitely an interesting thing to say. And was she drinking boba?
One of the photos I have is my dog wearing like a cute little tourist outfit. You guys can see it on the screen. I say he's secretly a local, but he likes to pretend. You being surrounded by little black balls is what sold me, because she has a photo of her literally just like fucking neck deep in a bunch of little black balls. So a little double entendre there. She says, I can understand the attraction. I'd say, Lil, that must have been a fun evening. Are you from here originally? This is a good question you can ask whenever the conversation just like runs stale, whenever you don't know what to say. She says, it was a real ball. Grew up in Boca and spent 10 years in NYC after college. Been in Miami for 3 years. What about you?
Okay, cool. So they're age appropriate. Because like 10 years after college, been in Miami for 3 years, mid 30s, mid to late 30s. Yeah, cool.
I say, oh, cool. I grew up in the Jersey. We can discuss our East Coast experience.
And then that's how you know he is mid to late 30s is I grew up in the Jersey. That's so funny. I'm sorry. Some of these are actually getting me.
Experiences over a drink or two. So again, I started moving things towards the meetup pretty fast, right? And she says, dirty jurors sounds great. So that was the soft close. I say, sometimes extra dirty, shoot me your number, and bam, right? So that's pretty easy interaction. But now let's go to what we found to be the best opener. I was actually very impressed with how this performed. And it's very simple. It goes like this. Your dad would absolutely hate me. It's pretty polarizing.
Joke's on you. My dad hates me.
Right? But it also invokes a lot of curiosity. The girls are like, wait, why would my dad hate you? Like, why? What is it? I want to know, right? So curiosity openers are quite effective, as you saw from the first opener that I mentioned.
I do think your dad would absolutely hate me is like a stereotypical opening for when you want to talk to someone who's like in college, right? Who's like dad is still overseeing them. But if you're talking to women who are your age, right? That like early 40, late 30s age, that just seems like an interesting way to start a conversation. Oh, I just read the message. My dad died, dude. LOL with an icebreaker line. My stepdad would be the one you need to impress as my dad passed away. Your dad would hate me. LOL, why? Because I'm 6 feet tall and he's negative 6 feet tall. And then he flexes at his grave. That's nuts, dude.
Right? Just girls are, because you need to get the girl to respond to the opener, right? You need to get her invested in the conversation. And the best way to do that is to kind of pique her curiosity. So she says, lol, what an icebreaker line. Lol, my stepdad would be the one you need to impress as my dad passed away. Ooh, yeah, did not expect that one. So I say, oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. The good news is that while dads hate me, stepdads love me, so we should be good.
I 100% believe him when he says stepdads love him. Absolutely. They just love my ability to get stuck in places. I believe you, big dog.
Says, thank you. He passed away in 2010, so I miss him, but he watching over me, and you're too sweet and cute. Yeah, okay, so I want to kind of move things off like death and stuff like that. So I say, oh, you're quite the cutie yourself. Do you like wine? She says, yes, but why are you messaging me at 1 a.m.? So this is, yeah, I do message girls mostly at like 1 or 2 a.m. because that's when I'm free.
But like, why, dude? Like, shouldn't you be asleep? On the other side, when he's messaged people to start his day, it's been at like 11:30 noon. And then he messages these women at like 3 in the morning. I couldn't do it. Like, I need to be in bed. Like, as long as you're getting your sleep, it doesn't really matter when, right? Like, if you want to sleep from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., sure, whatever. But I just, like, my brain would hate that. My brain would hate that so much. I'm too old. I'm old. I'm dying. I sound like this in the morning sometimes.
But the thing is that like some girls will take that the wrong way to mean that basically you just see them as a late night last resort. Like basically like you went out, you got rejected, and then she's your like last resort, right? So it's a really easy way to handle that. Like this is what I said is actually true, but you know you guys can copy this. I have a crazy work schedule, so sometimes I'm up till like 5 a.m. and I send that at 8 p.m. She says, oh, okay, well, that makes sense, and glad you finally responded at earlier time. So the concern is, you know, basically addressed. I say, lol, today's a rare exception for me. We should get together for that bottle of wine sometime soon, though. She says, well, glad you made time for me. Much appreciated. Unfortunately, I recently lost my job, so money is tight at the moment, so I'm in the process of finding a job doing Uber Eats on the side to make something until I find a permanent job. So this is basically her saying, I can't really afford to go to a bar, so I'm kind of a brokey right now. So this is easy. And it also gives me a good excuse to invite the girl straight to my place. I say, no worries, the wine's on me.
I was waiting for it. It took 7.5 minutes. So this is easy. It also gives me a good excuse to just invite the women back to my place. Somehow we kind of got 3/4 of the way into this video without him mentioning that it was just for sex. Like at the very least, he's setting up dates with these women, but then he goes, oh, thank God she's a brokey. That makes it easier for me to just invite these women back over to my place. I was waiting for it because the entire course is built around sex. Their entire thing is actually like how to have sex with these women. You're not trying to date any of these people. You're trying to get them to open up, start texting you, meet up with you, and then come home with you. And that's where it's very weird to me. It would be an entirely different conversation if he was 20, I think. Because like the 1 year I was on dating apps in college, I kind of did the same thing. I was, however, a lot more upfront about it. But he's not. I'm so bad at guessing ages, 38 to 40. And I don't know his relationship status. I don't know if he's like married and he just does this for YouTube. But if you're going to be one of these men who specifically is on dating apps to hook up with people, you should be a lot more upfront about that. Surprise, plenty of women are on the dating apps for the exact same reason. And if you're upfront about it, you can weed out the ones that want relationships and you can both have what you want. But getting people to go out with you just because you want to have sex with them is a little weird to me, at least at his age. And probably the average age of the people who sign up for his course.
She says, oh, you're too sweet. I have my moment. Show me your number and we can make it happen. And again, she's going to be, you know, at this point, like she can't go out to drink. So where's she going
You can tell he's old because he does like the winky face instead of an emoji.
to go? My place for a bottle of wine in my romantic balcony. And it's easy. Like with this, like I just get a bottle of white wine because most girls prefer that. And honestly, I prefer that. A wine choice that I like is Rieslings. They're kind of sweet, but I think they're delicious. And then, you know, basically a girl will have like a glass, you'll have a glass, and then you can just reuse it and just kind of use it for the next girl. So $10 can get you 2 or 3 dates. Anyway, let's take a look at one more example.
Okay, who's the brokey now? You can't be like, she's broke. Thank God. She can come back straight to my place. Also, $10, 2 to 3 dates. Chill, dude. Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't fall onto this side of the internet back when I was young.
For this opener, I say, your dad would absolutely hate me. She says, why is that? So this is going to be a much more common response to this opener. I say, I'll let you discover for yourself. Do you still have that South African accent based on her bio? She says, oh yeah, I think I'll always have the accent. Are you Russian? I say, awesome. South African accents are sexy, kind of qualifying her a bit. And then I say, and yes, that's where I was born, but I grew up in America, so no Russian accent for me. She says, well, that's nice that you think the accent is sexy. I guess I'll have to play to my strengths. So again, she's kind of qualifying herself a bit too here. I say, yes, I look forward to hearing it on our date. So this is a good way. Like what I do is typically before a soft close, I kind of hint at the date, or at least when I, when I really want to make sure like this one goes down. And so I say that. She says, definitely an option worth exploring. What do you do this week that made you smile? So what she's saying here is like, yeah, I want to meet up with you, but I need a little bit more comfort.
Yeah, I think we should teach men to respect women more. That's not a hot take. Like that's been said for the entirety of life existing. It feels weird seeing him talk to women knowing that the goal is to just sleep with them. And he's like trying to teach people to do the same thing. That's where it gets like gross to me. If you were just teaching people how to have conversations with women and whatever happens there, right? They go on dates, they end up picking up, whatever two consenting adults want to do. But you're not. You're teaching people how to just disguise themselves and sneak into the lives of women for the purpose of having sex with them and then doing it again and again and again with other women. Yeah, it's just gross. If you are someone who needs advice on how to speak to women, you should just speak to women. Go to your friends who are women and ask them how they would like to be spoken to. Say, hey, would this work on you? Hey, I met with this woman on Tinder. How do I open? Don't listen to a bunch of dudes who are just going to be single the rest of their lives. Do not listen to a bunch of dudes on the internet whose relationship status is based solely on their bank accounts.
So what am I going to do? I'm going to obviously shamelessly use my dog. I say, I took some extra adorable photos of my dog. All level was 11 out of 10. She says, oh my gosh, that's so cute. He looks cute as fuck. I'm about to start yoga and I have a hot date with dinner tonight. Lol, it was a dinner date with a dog called Max. So basically she's making a joke that she's going to be spending her dinner with her dog.
Is that me? Am I the dog? Oh, Max, I'm leaving that in. I'm so sorry.
I say, yeah, he is. And he says he's real excited to meet you. And then she says, what's his name? I'm a big dog person. I love doggos. Say I live on a yacht, otherwise I'd have one. That's interesting. She lives on a yacht. How does that go? And then here, again, I don't insta respond because usually I'm busy doing shit. An hour and a half later, she says, let's meet up and take him for a walk. This is a really good sign when a girl's invested.
I was on dating apps during the wrong time of my life, wasn't I? The amount of date walks we could have gone on with Toast.
That much. So I say, let's shoot me your number and we'll make it happen, and bam, done. So again, you can see that while all these three openers are going to be very effective because they invoke the girl's curiosity, we found that your dad would absolutely hate me opener to be just the cream of the crop.
Let's see how well that works. If you guys don't know me, man, he's doing a subathon. Your dad would absolutely hate me.
Wait.
And then he's going to ask why. I'll let you discover that for yourself.
Brother, your dad would absolutely hate me, probably.
What? Wait, he said probably, didn't say why. What do I do now? This was not, they didn't go over this.
Honestly, I don't know.
I'm just gonna full send it. Did it work?
I'll let you discover that for yourself. I don't think you want to meet him.
Did it work? Are we doing sex now?
Did it work? I don't think so.
Damn, what? All right, I'm up for one. Anyway, me Matt's doing a subathon. He's been streaming for 16 straight days, so he's a little irritable, and it's kind of funny. Playing with fire. You told me this was the one. You told me your dad would absolutely hate me was the one, and it didn't work. Wow. Damn. I feel lied to. Maybe it's because I didn't pay for the $300 course. Damn. There's no like life lesson here, right? There's nothing we're gonna get out of just watching this man try to teach other men to hook up with women. I would hope that if you're a man watching this video, you're not one of these men. And I'm going to say that with this. I don't think there's an issue with wanting to hook up with people. I don't. But I think you should be transparent about it. I think you should hook up with people who also just want to hook up with people. If you are leading people into this idea of dating you just to have sex with them, that feels like you're lying. You are lying, and that's gross. You should figure out what it is that you want and go after it. If what you want is sex, cool. Say that. If what you want is a relationship, fantastic. Say that. Maybe don't click on a 3 best Tinder openings for 2025 to hook up with strangers. There are so many alpha male dating coaches out there. There are so many people that are going to be like, this is how you hook up with women. Women are just so easy to manipulate, dude. Women. Oh, and it has to be exhausting to be someone who is looking for actual guidance and end up in their courses. Once again, I feel lucky to have never fallen onto that side of the internet, and I'm very lucky to be in the relationship that I am now. But if I've learned anything anything from this video is that if Lee and I ever break up, I'm getting on Tinder with pictures of toast. Okay, subscribe and like the video to go on a date where we walk toast together. Me, you, Lee. Also, like, I have my headphones in the whole time, and I'm listening to Crime Junkies. Thank you for spending time with me. This is my favorite thing to do. You're my favorite people to do it with, and I will see you all soon. You can say goodbye to toast now. Goodbye.